Shaq, they always talk about the last game before Christmas break and the first game before Christmas break. Sometimes the toughest one to get up for. Did you feel that maybe to start the game that was maybe the case?
Kind of, sort of. I mean, we just got to keep playing through things. And, the good thing about it is I think in the first meeting time our summer is only like 5 to 6 or something like that. So, I mean, to know that we can play defenses, is good. We just got to convert on the offensive end.
You really feel in the last couple games, I mean, the switch maybe kind of turned on for you and you're playing much better than you did to start the season?
I mean, I don't really look at it that way. Having Savon back is really good on the boards. It takes a lot of pressure off me and G when we drive, and to know that we can try to create for ourselves and he'll be there to clean it up, if things don't go as planned.
How do you like, both of you guys, how do you like the new mix? You got, this is the second game in a row, you got the same starting lineup. A different look.
I like the energy. I like the energy that we brought so far. We've been tested twice so far, and I feel like we did okay. And we have a big test coming up, which is a great opportunity to see where we really stand. And this week is a great week to prepare for this opportunity.
Shaq, do you think the new group is?
I mean, definitely. We've been practicing with John Gillen at the 3. I don't think we went to that lineup tonight, but we're still learning offense. We just implemented a new offense, and we're still learning it. And we only had 2 days or 3 days to prepare with the new offense, so it's kind of like we got to get comfortable with it.
Harvard's defense was really strong, particularly in the post. What were they doing that bugged you so much?
They just don't foul. It's kind of frustrating when you may think something's a foul or you go in looking for contact and it's not there. They do a really good job walling, and I can give them that credit that they don't really foul too much.
It looks like in terms of fast break, I mean, forget about the crazy dunks and everything, but it's probably the best game you had just from that aspect.
Yeah, I mean, having Rowe and Savon in the lineup, it's kind of like before the game, let's get stopped. G always says, let's get 5 stops in a row. And, we come out fired up and, looking to get those transition points, definitely.
How has Rowe impacted the starting lineup?
I think his energy has been great so far at the 2 spot. I think he helps us late in the second half. Well, halfway through the second half, he ended up guarding Wesley Saunders and held him to, I think, 2 points or something like that, which is great. I feel like he brings like a different feel on the defensive end, and he's a great basketball player, so I appreciate him in the lineup.
As well, I feel like his defense is particularly, that's what he thrives in. And, I felt like in the first half, they were making a lot of tough shots, but then we put Rowe on them, and that kind of stopped all that. So, that was good to know that we can go to him for that.
Is that reverse dunk making the top 10 today?
I don't know. I don't know. They don't really show the Pac-12 if you're not Arizona Love on ESPN. So, I mean, it's kind of one of those things we'll wait and see.
Anything else?
Any questions, please?
What do you think today? It's the second day of your new kind of newish lineup.
Yeah. I think this team is going to keep getting better, Jack. They have good hearts. They have good work habits. And for the most part, every time they have an experience, it's a new one. And there's so many guys going through this for the first time. So I think there will be a team that continues to improve. I think they've done that the last couple of weeks. I really like the way that they've responded since the last time we were beat. That's not easy to do. I thought tonight, the best part of who we were was on the defensive end of the floor, especially in the second half. Their backcourt had combined for 23 of their 28 first half points. 2 excellent players, guys who have won a lot of games in their career at Harvard, guys who have led them to multiple NCAA tournament appearances. And Jerry Blakes did a terrific job on Chambers. He didn't score in the second half. And then Roosevelt, I thought, was absolutely terrific on defense. Saunders only had 2 in the second half. So I thought those 2 guards, although we played team defense, really distinguished themselves on the defensive end of the floor.
You scored 34 points in the paint, dominate the boards. Is that one of the most satisfying aspects of today's win?
Well, I think we did a good job of going inside. I still think we could do a better job of converting and finishing. But to our guys' credit, They really tried to get the ball inside, and then we continue to do a better job on the offensive glass, get some second chance opportunities, and that has to be a big part of what we do. So our defense created some offense. We got some transition baskets off of our defense, and then we finished a number of possessions with a second shot opportunity.
I know you talked about Roosevelt just now, but what do he and Savon, how do those two guys in that area might change things for you?
I mean, really our whole team is kind of being reconfigured here in December, and it really starts with the emergence and inclusion of Savon, Jack. You know, having him available to play is kind of the starting point of our changes. And with Savon's emergence, it obviously requires us to reconfigure our offense, and that takes some time. And, you know, obviously even today you can see, you know, it has the feel that you're driving a stick shift for the first time. So there's no way around. That's going to take some time, and we'll get better at that. But I think the changes start with Savon, and then obviously, you know, guys like Rowe and Jerry are getting more playing time.
What did you do to adapt to Harvard's tough defense?
You know, offensively, I don't know that we did anything extraordinarily well. You know, Harvard does play excellent defense. They like to contest passes. They have good athleticism and size. You know, as much as I, you know, made the comment earlier that, you know, I think we could finish better inside. We have to give Harvard credit. They have good length, good athleticism. You know, they only blocked 10 of our shots. And that was like an emphasis going into the game for us, you know, how we were going to try to offset that. But you can't criticize us for, I guess, you know, at least we're stubborn. At least we're stubborn.
Did you go into the game with a plan to contain Saunders?
No doubt. We knew he was there. He is their heart. You know, he's a guy we're familiar with even from high school. He's from the Southern California area. And, you know, he came into the game averaging over 18 a game. And that's off the Virginia game where he didn't, you know, have his normal production. Before the Virginia game, he was at 20 points per game.
Have you seen Roosevelt doing a lot of this in practice, and we just hard to get him into the lineup? Or?
Yeah, no, it's amazing sometimes the correlation between practice and the games. I know sometimes, you know, players don't make that connection, but usually if you're going to do it consistently well in the game, the first signs come in practice. Rarely does someone not do it in practice, then all of a sudden, you know, they reinvent themselves when the game starts. That's highly unusual.
So you had seen him do that stuff. There was just not a place really for him.
He's done it, and even before, you know, he cracked the lineup back in October, there were days that he would show that side of his game. And, you know, we've just encouraged him, you know, to be himself, Jack. You know, he doesn't have to be anybody else. Just be Rowe and play to Rowe's strengths.
Is he kind of like a lot of JC's? It just takes a little while to...
I mean, I think, you know, with the rarest exception, it takes anybody time to go from high school or junior college to the Pac-12 or to major college basketball. It's hard, and I think probably the same is true of football. You know, football has the ability more so than basketball to use the freshman year as a red shirt. It's a big transition, and it's not just physically, but it's mentally. A lot of guys, you know, really have to fight off the demons because they go from, you know, being the best player on their team, you know, the star of their area, to all of a sudden, how do I handle not playing? How do I handle not playing more? So there's the psychological aspect as well as the physical and the mental that those guys, you know, have to be equipped to deal with.
Every win is obviously important in its own merit, but this is the highest RPI team that you beat so far this year. Maybe a little more importance on this one, especially going into Pac-12 play next week?
Oh, the only one that's important is the one we're playing. The ones we've already played, we can't go back in time and redo them, and we certainly can't play the ones in the future. So I think you really get yourself in a lot of trouble if you're not just entirely focused on the next game, this game. For us, it's just a series of one-game seasons. So this was important because it was today's game.
Anything else?